just want to say something real quick, you know? I mean, I'm not really a, online guy, posting too much or whatever like that, but I just feel it must be said, man. It's like, there's nobody out there that feels like, all right, I know Diddy gay as hell. You know what I'm saying? He looks a little feminine. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Some of the comments he make, a man, a solid, man, doesn't feel comfortable saying to another man. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever like that. Which, that's his own preference or whatever. But don't you feel like, damn, like, all right, well, we know for sure, right? Like, tell me if I'm wrong, matter of fact, all right? To my understanding, right, it's been explained to me that he had a lawsuit, it was over ciroc, okay, the mother liquor company, or whatever, his partners, okay, partners, okay, or whatever like that. And he ends up suing them for, I think it was either a racist situation or it was due because of race or something like that. But overall, he wins the case, right? And then, boom, strategically, I mean, like, look how his character that fast. Nobody notices how that fast. What are we, just blind with our eyes in the air and just walking through life and just listening and believing everything everybody tells you or whatever? Strategically, they assassinated and destroyed his bad boy character. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Showed the world, that he was a gay dude chasing around men. Okay? Or whatever. And that's his preference, right? But he won that lawsuit with powerful, rich business partners. Okay? Now, when I mean by powerful, I mean like after a certain amount of time, depending on how many years or decades that mother liquor company has been in business, after a while, and depending on how large they get, okay? See, let me tell you something. It's so much to displace America, okay? You literally, like, anybody you see that's made tens or hundreds or billions of dollars, do you honestly think that they haven't cut any corners? Like, that's almost the American way. If you can, like, look at history, right? And look at history, how it's been, how everything played out. For at any time, we've always had this super greed, hunger for money. And that shaped who America is, okay? Y'all don't notice how, just think of that. A Mexican will risk his lady. Think of how much you love your lady and your children, right? Now, close your eyes and just think that they giving out gold nuggets in Mexico, okay? And you got little or nothing, here, or whatever. So you have to come up with a plan. You dead, okay? And your plan, you say to yourself, not with your lady, you're a man. So you say to yourself, all right, I'm gonna take my 3-year-old child and put him or her on my lady's back, and we're gonna literally walk around through a shady cartel that's kidnapping, murdering, trafficking, whatever, okay, that kill for fun. Just blow your head off, just violate you, okay? You got to get through that, right? You got to get through nobody's messing with you, just walking, all right, and not burning up too much water so you and your family doesn't die. And people are risking that to get to this country. I pause because I want you to think about that. Okay? This is the Babylon. This is the ugliest place in the world. And as long as you're a wolf, you're going to eat. There ain't no good business. there's no good business. You have to be a wolf in this country. And some of them are very good at it, and some of them are okay, whatever the case is. But back to my point, right? So these powerful, liquor companies, okay? The mother company to Ciroc, okay? This is how I'm imagining it. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong, because I really don't know, but this is what I see. And I know business. I know business on a much smaller scale, okay? It's just, everything in the world repeats itself. At my ripe age of 45, that's what I see. That's what I know or whatever, and everything repeats itself. And the same people from 100 years ago is the same kind of personalities today, okay? And, it's like, so these businessmen, right, don't want to pay because Diddy won, okay? Diddy won the case. So how can they not pay? Plus, they pissed off. Fuck, I'm gonna pay this fucking nigga, okay? Why? How can I get out of it? And that's why this country is so great to so many rich people, because you can go over it, a problem, you can go under it, you can go through it if you're strong and powerful enough. Okay, you can make it disappear. There's so many ways. This is a chessboard if you get into business in this country, which makes it beautiful, but that's another story. So along their journey, on their come up, this other liquor company, okay, and all businessmen think like should already has played out this tape, played this A to Z out, okay? So this company, this mother company, okay, partner of Diddy, they've built relationships with the ATF, okay, strong ones. And the point that I was trying to make before by cutting the corner is when you start dealing with, products in the hundreds of millions, even tens, even millions, okay? It all boils down. You can say that big, large name of the ATF is looking, but that shit boils down to one individual that basically runs that area, and it's a chain of command just like anything else. And that one individual makes that decision, left or look away or look at the situation. And that type of money, okay, over the years, you form friendships, okay? And those ATF officers have friends all throughout, the justice system, through now this, it's not, I'm not saying it's 100, like new, but we are an online world, you know what I'm saying, or whatever like that. There's viral real estate now, you know what I'm saying, making people rich, okay, or whatever. And there's ways to find out and do whatever or with that. And what I mean by that is they basically have someone create these narratives, create these horrible image breaking scenarios and quick little commercials and shit like that, and post first and lay it perfectly. When you got good money, you're gonna get the seasoned best of the best. Ben probably had them. All right. So my point, let me just, I keep on jumping off, right? Because I'm just trying to paint it the way I see it. So, to protect my business, right? I just turned it into me, if it was me, okay? To protect my business, and I had to go and pay this nigga. It's embarrassing. Sometimes it's not about the money. When you get rich enough, it's not about the money. If let's just say you worth 100 million, after a while you're gonna know already what you spend a year, okay? Meaning, like, you got this money or whatever, it's taxed, it's sitting in, well, you're a fool if you just gotta sit in the bank, but let's just say it's sitting in the bank or whatever, and your 5th year in of having this $100 million after this, that you see like, damn, I spend roughly, ignorantly, I spend exactly X amount of dollars per year. You're going to be able to see what kind of a spender you are for years. Let's say you have this data of yourself with all the money under the sun to go and spend. You know that, this is the number that you spend. Anything past that is in the bank. So you could be worth a gazillion dollars. You still only spend X amount of dollars. So that's my point. Like, if you hit a few M's or whatever like that, and your level of just like excessive spending, partying, clothes, cars, traveling, whoever the hell else you taking care of, family or whatever, and it hits this number or whatever like that every year, the rest of your millions or whatever like that is kind of gonna, that's just what it is. That's your number of what you spend per year, and you're not gonna, obviously, unless you literally give it away, but you're not gonna exceed that, or whatever. You just, you're not gonna exceed that number because this is what the hell you spend, and I'm saying that because it's kind of lost myself now on my point, right? My point that I'm trying to say is, right, let me just regroup or whatever. I always go off because I always just be thinking shit like that or whatever. But my point that I'm trying to make is it just looks like a well orchestrated plan to go and destroy his character. And, in business, when you decide to go and attack a guy, or you're going to bring a guy down, okay, it's not like TV where you sting them, okay, morally hurt them or whatever, and make sure the guy's looking at me when you fight the guy face to face and morally go and fight him, then I won. No. War is disgusting. It's ugly. It's when he's not looking. It's when he's at his weakest. It's that's just the name of the game. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. And I'm saying that to say, whatever fucked up tactics they use, okay, it worked or whatever to go and destroy him. And you don't destroy a piece of him because it's something in our, in history, we know for sure you can't oppress someone and then stop it and then expect that, it's like an automatic, like if you oppress somebody, right, and then you stop oppressing that person, it's almost guaranteed they're going to grow stronger than their oppressor. That's just something with humans, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And everybody in business knows this. It's some of us that focus 100% on that personality, on the businessman and the structure of it or whatever. We all look at the world in shades, okay? Like, and I express it in shades because that's how different everybody is. You can have light brown, little bit of light brown, really light brown, light brown, light brown, light brown, or whatever. And those are personalities, those are people expressed in colors, what I'm trying to say. And so, when you kill somebody's image or you destroy somebody, you destroy it and don't leave an amber of light. What that book say, 48 laws or whatever, it's got some points in there. That's how you destroy somebody so that kids can never come back to harm you. Okay, and I just think this is what's happening to him. Even if it's not, okay, how many of these creatures, we may not like what he does, okay, but how many of these creatures that we just let slide in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, when this shit was still going on? You know what I'm saying? We gotta protect each other. We are all we have. We are all we have. No one's going to, God forbid the government shuts down, right? Everybody else is independent. That's the reason why they got a seat at the round table, okay? But everybody else is independent, all the other races. We're the only ones that's not, okay? And what I mean by that is we don't corner no markets. Okay, even on the hood, our hood dudes, block huggers, don't mingle, don't talk, don't nothing with our professionals, the ones that know how to go and, know the A to Z of forming a business or LLC or C Corp or S Corp or whatever. You know, in other races they do. Okay, we must learn to not love each other, but like each other to follow the plan. Like each other enough to trade goods and services with each other. And I gotta emphasize first. We gotta do that first, just like all the other races. You know. Yo, real talk, hit me up if you want me to explain all of the positives of working with each other, buying goods and services from each other first. You know, and I'll explain. You know, I bet you in a few years we'll destroy racism. We'll destroy police officer brutality. I'm serious. We can destroy all of that by learning how to trade goods and services with each other first. Let me find where the hell I'm at. I just moved out here to Raleigh or whatever. You know. But hit me up, you know, correct me. Let me know more about this Diddy thing. Nobody else feels like they're just trying to destroy him, and this is a well orchestrated plan to go and beat him up and kill him and throw him in jail instead of paying this. How much? Somebody tell me how much money did Diddy win in that lawsuit? You know, stuff like that, man. Why are we just gonna let him get beat up by himself and just turn our backs on him? And we turn our backs on him, and now they trying to go after Buster. You know what I'm saying? And destroy it. What the fuck is going on with us destroying? Like all the rappers is gonna have a destroyed image. All of them. Nobody's gonna have. There's gonna be no rappers from my time, you know what I'm saying, late 80s to the 90s, that's left, that's got a clear, whatchamacallit, that doesn't have an agenda. You know, 50 Cent is a cool dude, I hope, but it just seems like he's the pit bull for a much more larger system. And why is it? Why the fuck we can't be free, man, independent? You know, this is so crazy for us to just turn our backs on everybody because they got one blemish. And we done looked at predators, man. And look, other races, they don't say a goddamn thing about, you know, their people. Whatever fucked up thing they're doing and some crazy, whatever the fuck it is, we don't hear a thing. Why do we make ourselves entertainment over somebody else's life? We only have each other. We only have each other. You know? That's the one key that we missing. That's the one last key that we're missing. Everything else, yo, y'all already know, okay? Some of y'all are young enough, don't really know, but if you up there in your 40s, you already know black folks are great. Unfortunately, I explained to myself as a child, I'm guilty of thinking, and that shit is embarrassing, it's fucked up. But from what I've seen, see, I don't even know. It used to not even be black folks really on TV that much. No commercials, no nothing. Okay? They call you a nigga and you say at times you say, well, I understand why he did. In your head, you won't tell the person that's doing, you know, it was a different thinking. You don't know where we're at now. And a lot of you kids don't know, but it's a different time. It's y'all goddamn time. You know? But let's, hit me up and let me know what am I missing? What am I missing? Why should we just help this liquor company, okay, or the courts, right, destroy P. Diddy? Didn't he entertain us? Motherfuckers is crazy. We don't never know other races bullshit and the craziness that they do. Because they look the fuck out for each other. Their brotherhood is serious. Same thing as the Mexican. Look at the Jew. Now, let me tell you something. $1 in the Jewish community, right, flips 5 to 12 times. I don't know the exact number, but that dollar does not leave the community for multiple exchanges. Meaning, like, you know, the you know, I don't know, the tire man, that guy that owns the tire shop. He spends his money with a Jewish gas station. That Jewish gas station spends his money with a Jewish wholesaler. That Jewish wholesaler buys his daughter, you know, something from another Jew. All right, that's how they keep their individual sales important. If that Jew goes to any other company, it's been like this for decades, centuries. If that individual Jew goes to another race's establishment and works, guess what's going to happen to that Jewish little guy or older man or whoever that's working at that store? They're going to get Jewish customers. Because why? They have that Jew in there. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all, how to make ourselves more valuable, the individual more valuable. You dig what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not trying to say I don't know, you know what I'm saying? We don't know, but I do know how to plan. I do know how to think. You know? We need to go and think about, God forbid, if this goddamn place, if this government folded up and there wasn't no free money. And I'm not even saying we, you know, the majority, because we don't. You know what I'm saying? I love what the fuck I see out of black folks, you know, in the last 10 years. Hell, 20 years ago when I was a kid, I couldn't even talk about politics or business. Literally nowhere, nobody. Y'all know who I'm talking about, everybody. Okay? So I love us. I didn't even know how much, I didn't even know what to, yo. But what I'm trying to say is this, man. God forbid this place as we know it folds up. What food line we gonna get on? What food line you gonna be able to get on with your family? Who gonna care about you enough to go and make sure that your family eat? Maybe while the film's still rolling in the beginning of this food drought or whatever, for the TVs or whatever, they're gonna help out the niggas. But we might fuck around and be the first race to go extinct. We gotta own it, and it's not hard to just say, no, I have to buy goods and services from my people first. Okay? That's what we must do, and keep it to our motherfucking selves. I'm telling you, man, you know, we spend the most in this country. Yo, hit me up, man. Let's build on this. I could explain to you the benefits of us buying from each other first. You dig what I'm saying? Hit me up and just tell me I'm wrong or whatever like that. I got a late night. It's about 2 in the morning. I'm on my way back from a water job or whatever. I'm in the flood, fire, and mold business or whatever. Been doing this like 17 years, you know. Been an owner for like 13 or whatever. So, but man, it's levels out there, man, and the shit that I see, people, like, I want us to all know as a whole, man, that's what changes mine. We have to leave a mammoth-sized footprint after we leave a situation, bad or good. That's what stops people. That's what makes it so somebody doesn't come and carelessly go and beat up an elder old black man or some young ass cop ragdoll some old lady. I just seen on the news on YouTube the other day, young cop tell his goddamn judge, black judge, you don't look like a judge. You're a judge. Couldn't even believe his eyes. It's lack of respect because we don't have a mammoth-sized footprint, man. And this is one way of building it. You dig what I'm saying? Fuck with me. All right. Peace.